Hopefully Cam joins us momentarily. Cam, buddy.
Yo, what's up, dude?
Oh man, how do you like my new mic?
I saw it in one of your recent streams, man. Cool beans. Good on you for picking something
good,
up.
dude. Yeah, and I got
Hell yeah,
headphones too, but I find sometimes what I have with the headphones, it only has sound going to one ear because I have only one plug for my laptop, right? So the sound only goes to the ear that is plugged in, and so I don't hear you as clearly as I would now if without them.
Oh, weird. Just get like a splitter or a USB adapter.
Yeah, that's a good idea. USB. So that's
Yeah, a USB, whatever your headphones use, there should be an adapter that goes to USB, and then you can just plug that into your.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because well, the thing is, I have two plugs for like one side of each ear for the headphone.
That's
The thing
weird.
is, I know it is weird, but I only have one.
Definitely get an adapter then.
Yeah, the adapter will definitely take care of that for sure.
So what's up, dude? We haven't spoken in a bit.
I know, like, I was trying to get like better equipment to like be more professional with my apologetic stuff.
Hell yeah, so, that's good, bro. Good on you for doing that.
So I eventually got to get a new laptop too, because like this thing is old. Like I have to, everything I buy, it has to like make the basically all the equipment that I'm buying is compensating for the fact that my laptop is shit.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I mean my laptop doesn't even have a built-in webcam to like give you an idea.
Oof.
Exactly. So the webcam that you're seeing is mounted on top of the laptop, plugged into a USB port. Yeah. It works, but I mean, it's compensating for lack of technology, right? So
the
microphone plugs in, and the headphones I got plug in like the same as it would like any like earbuds, right? So So, anyways, I'm just trying to be, like I said, more professional.
That's good. I applaud you for doing that.
Appreciate that.
So how you been, man?
Been good. I'm busy. I'm gonna be 43.
Yeah, so I heard.
Yeah, man.
I heard you've been getting into it with Peter.
Yeah, like in a good way. We've had good conversations lately.
Yeah. He said the last one you guys had was pretty good. He enjoyed it apparently.
Yeah, same.
I'm just makes me happy. It's good that you guys are getting along.
I think the fact that Peter and I are not getting along is like a cultural thing. So I was talking to the guy that's like my roommate. He's like, with Europeans, they're like really big on like saying what you mean what you say, and like
they're very direct.
If you misspeak, they'll correct. Exactly. Whereas in the West, we're like, okay, you know what he meant, like even though he misspoke, like just be a little chill. And so I think it's just understanding that the cultural difference of like the West is like with rhetoric, we're way more relaxed and passive in the West compared to like
this is.
And so Peter probably thinks that like the Westerns are like we're way too lazy with our rhetoric, and we think the way and I think Peter, like people like Peter, can come across as anal.
Differences of perspective.
That's exactly what it is. Anyways, how is Kev?
I've been busy, man. I've been trying to catch up with all of the other streams that we did.
Yeah, I noticed like you've got a shitload of the highlights going on. That's pretty
cool. Yeah. So I did them out of order. I shouldn't have. I went from the most recent one I had been doing at the time, which was stream number 4. And then I was like, oh, I should start at the beginning. So then I started with 1, and then I got 2 done, and I've just started with 3. Because 2 was the second one was very short. It only needed one. I could fit it all into one clip.
You're just pulling in George Lucas, aren't you, buddy?
What do you mean?
You don't know what that means? It means like Star Wars started with 4, 5, and 6, and then went into 1, 2, and 3.
Oh,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, kind of, huh? I started in the middle.
There you go.
Yeah, well, that's what I get for staying up late and not sleeping right. I start doing things backwards.
Yeah, just like atheism.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. The classic.
You set it up, buddy. You set it up.
Cameo.
You set it up.
Oh.
You set it up.
Yeah, I guess I did, didn't I?
Oh, you certainly did, brother. You certainly did. I just you opened the door and I just walked right through it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how it looks from your end.
That's how it is.
Yeah, I'm sure you think that's how it is.
I'm okay. Well, semantics aside.
Semantics, another classic Rob line. I give you shit, Rob, but I genuinely do enjoy our conversations. I want you to know that.
Likewise.
You're infuriating in a good way.
Likewise.
Yeah.
I don't think you don't know. So you don't infuriate me. That would be hyperbolic. I'm pretty sure
you do infuriate me. I named my channel after you. After the sensation I get when I talk to you.
Okay, well then
it makes me want to tear my hair out.
that's your prerogative, brother.
Yeah, man, but in a good way. Like I don't mean it maliciously, right?
No, I know.
Like I said, I've told you, I don't think you're a bad person.
I think everyone's a bad person.
Okay, well, I guess that's your prerogative. You have little faith in humanity. I have a decent amount of faith in humanity.
Well, when I say that everyone's a bad person, I don't mean that everyone is incapable of being a moral agent.
You think we're all sinners? I know
exactly.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Okay, I said what I mean.
And you meant what you said.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I like actually. There is a Christian apologist that has a channel. What do you mean, right?
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
Well, so actually, I thought you were referencing that guy or that channel when you said, "Say what you mean."
No.
No, remember because there was that one guy. Remember a week or two ago, there's this one guy that said like we should just drop the Second Amendment because we can't take on the U.S. government.
Well, I would remind you, and I would remind that guy that the entirety of the U.S. military apparatus was stopped in its tracks in Vietnam by a bunch of rice farmers with shitty AKs.
Just so we're clear, I don't side with that guy's opinion. I was completely
good because he's wrong. Yeah.
Well,
tanks and jet fighters can't guard street corners, and nobody's going to nuke New York. That would be stupid.
Well, it's pretty obvious based on the stream that we were doing at that night that I was on your side with my whole Second Amendment.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I've successfully radicalized you in that sense. I call
on the internet. That's it. It was remember, I got radicalized on the internet. Who would have seen that coming?
Yeah, right.
Oh man. I honestly probably watched that Are You Home on the Range joke probably like more times than I even care to because your laughter to your natural laughter.
You got me good. You got me good. Yeah.
I know. He's like very funny, Rob. Very funny. But like you couldn't. You were trying to get like back on top, but you were obviously struggling for a few seconds, there, brother.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you have a good habit of knocking the wind out of me every here and again with your quips. Not so much with your arguments, but with your quips.
So am I infuriating or infuriating?
Okay. That one was a stretch. I'm not giving that one to you. That's a stretch. Come on. Do better. Do better. Well, I expect better from you.
Okay. Well, we're just getting started, okay. So, I mean, that joke that I gave about like Home on the Range, that was like an hour or 16 minutes or 20, almost an hour and a half.
You had time to plan it. I'll give you that.
Exactly. I didn't plan it. It just came. You set it up.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
You're talking about you get that feeling on the range. Are you home on the range, Kim? See, you're still laughing.
It's good. It's a good joke. That's a great.
You said you would have said the same thing.
Yeah, I would have said the same thing. Yeah.
There you go.
I didn't think of it. You did. You got me.
That's why I'm dead.
So I wanted to run something past you. I wanted to run something past you.
All right.
I want to propose a little experiment that you and I can do.
All right.
I want to enlist your help in summoning a demon.
What? Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll
let you pick which demon. I'll send you a copy of the Ars Goetia, and you can pick whichever demon you want, and we'll summon it.
But why would we want to?
So I can sell my soul. How about that?
But your soul's already sold. It's over for now.
No, I haven't sold it just yet. I still have it, as far as I'm concerned. Nobody's purchased it from me yet. But that would be a perfect way of proving the existence of, or proving the truth of Christianity. If I can successfully sell my soul with your assistance, boom. Christianity is true, God is real, atheists 0, Christians 1. But checkmate atheists.
But then you're going to hell. I don't want that for you.
Well, I'm going to hell anyway.
As it stands, but you still have the option to repent and give your life to Christ.
No, I told you I would send myself to hell on principle.
Oh, right, because you think God, even if Christianity is true, God was evil.
Yeah. So I mean, we all win. You get to prove Christianity. You have assuredness that I'm going to hell, and I have assuredness that I'm not going to heaven. We all win. Everybody wins. I guess the only one that actually loses is me, because I end up being wrong, but I'm willing to be wrong. If it means I can stand to gain materially in this life, and I don't have to go to heaven.
What is it materially that you would like to stand to gain that you haven't gained already?
A Lamborghini would be a good place to start.
And what else materially?
A nice house, 40 acres in a forest somewhere in the mountains.
You want to put a partner?
No, I'm pretty sure I could find one of those on my own. I've had several.
Fair.
I think my charming good looks are more than enough to fish me somebody worth my time, right? Or do you think I'm ugly, Rob?
I think you're handsome.
Oh, there you go. Ooh, handsome. Thank you. God.
Yeah, I'm a straight guy that can appreciate beauty.
There you go. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, none of that toxic masculinity shit. It's okay to check out the homies, okay? You have to fit check them. You have to fit check.
I mean, like we all have what's like symmetry, right? Like
exactly. Objective beauty exists.
Exactly. So,
or rather, I think there are features that we all sort of agree that are attractive. I shouldn't say.
Yeah, that. I mean, like most
beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, but most people would also probably agree that I'm handsome, I'm tall, I'm strong.
You're not bad looking. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think we gotta get you some graphic T-shirts, but other than that, I think you're fine. The stripes are killing me, Rob. The stripes are killing me.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of like I'm like I've got like maybe a few shirts left before I got to go do my laundry, and then so this is like the bottom on the row.
Fair enough. I've got a couple of those. The shirts that we like to wear at the end of the month.
That's exactly it. It's not even a shirt I like to wear. It's just I'm wearing it just because I have to wear something.
Fair enough.
Well,
as long as it fits.
I mean, if I want to be a functioning member of society, I have to wear a shirt.
I mean, not really, but okay.
I can't be.
You're just letting society keep you down, Rob. You gotta fight the man. You gotta fight the power. The man's keeping you down, Rob.
Okay, well.
And see, that's what I'm trying to do, Rob. I'm trying to fight the man upstairs. Yeah. You feel me?
Oh, okay. You took that somewhere. I didn't expect you to go there. You
really?
said to fight the man.
I thought it was pretty on the nose, but
no, I thought you were talking about Uncle Sam at first.
I mean, yeah, but after Uncle Sam, who's left but God?
Yeah, but
when you've conquered the most powerful force on the planet, what's left? The most powerful force in heaven. Let's go for it.
Yeah, but how?
Like every JRPG ever made, let's kill God, bro. Let's do it.
But how? How can you kill God when he's immaterial?
I guess I'm gonna have to buy an immaterial knife.
You realize how absurd that sounds,
you
right?
know, or even better yet, we have anti-material guns now. I could use an anti-material gun to kill an immaterial being, I feel.
But you
that makes sense, right?
Yeah, that would make sense, but you still have one problem. You don't know where the immaterial being is.
I think we have some leads.
Okay.
Listen, Satan was the last person to see him, probably, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so we can start there. I'll sell my soul to that demon that you helped me summon, and then I'll go to Satan and I'll be like, hey man, where did you last see God? And then boom, we know where to find him, and then we shoot him with the anti-material gun, and done and done.
Yeah.
I think this is a pretty solid plan. I think we could achieve this, you and I, Rob. I think we could do this.
I don't want to. Even if I could, which I can't.
Yeah, but I think, as you said, you were the one who said it, not everything we want matters, Rob. I think it's for the good of the human race, I think, that we should kill God.
What?
But listen, we can hash that one out. Later. What I want to know is whether or not you can help me with the first step, which is summoning the demon.
I don't really want to.
Can you bear witness? Can you make sure that we're doing it right? Because you're the Christian, so you would know how to do these things, right?
But a Christian typically, when it comes to demons, we would cast them out, not summon them.
Well, you can cast him out once I've sold my soul, right? As a matter of fact, we can have you there for that, just to make sure that he's like gone after we. So let me
get this straight. You want to do a summoning and an exorcism all in one fell swoop.
No. So summoning, transaction, and then the exorcism.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, there's like an order to this, right? You don't have to come in until the exorcism. You can do the exorcism.
Okay. So I'm not.
Do you believe in exorcisms? Aren't you Protestant? I thought that was like a Catholic thing.
No. It's a biblical thing.
Interesting. Have you ever seen somebody cast a demon out of somebody?
Mm-hmm. I have.
What's that like?
Trippy. Like,
what kind of shit does a demon possessed person do, man?
Foam at the mouth, rage. They just kind of get like their face, the face of the person that the demon has control of. The face can contort. They foam at the mouth. They start to act wildly, violently, and they can maybe kick a wall. They maybe start banging their head against the wall. It's basically watching like watching someone in a psych ward.
Are we sure that's not rabies? That sounds like rabies.
No, it's not rabies.
Okay, because rabies does the foaming at the mouth thing.
Yeah, but what about everything else?
Yeah, so it does everything else as well. It's the violent outbreaks, the increased aggression, destruction. They get like homicidal. They'll like kill people. Rabies is and everybody who gets it pretty much dies from it. It's like we don't have a cure for it.
But the thing is, the person with the demon doesn't die almost all the time.
Well, I guess that's the difference, right?
That's
okay, so maybe it's not rabies.
Yeah, but the other thing is, So I also know one time where I have a friend, Pastor Abraham, who I have on my stream on a Monday and a Friday weekly now. You guys had one time where he's went into an apartment where there was the demons literally had control of the place. They're basically like smashing and throwing cups and dishes that were in the apartment, like smash and trying to like throw them against the
Holy shit!
the
Did you get video of that?
No, unfortunately there wasn't.
Weird. You think that something like that you'd want to get video of it, right?
I think he was more interested in helping out the situation than getting evidence.
I mean, yeah, but what a wonderful proof of Christianity if we could have like documented video of a demon possessed house, right?
Yeah, well, what happened is my friend went into the apartment in question. As soon as he opened the door, a plate came flying through the air that wasn't thrown from a person straight toward his face. And he put his hand up and just like this, and the plate stopped right in front of his hand and then dropped to the ground and smashed.
That's pretty impressive. It's a shame there's no video of it.
Yeah, there is no video of it. Yeah. The only thing I can go on is his word as a son that I've known for.
Man, my camera is just really acting up today.
So I just have to go with his word. He's been. I've known him for 15 years, and I don't know him to lie once.
But that's kind of an extraordinary claim, wouldn't you think? Don't you think Pastor Ibrahim has a duty to demonstrate these things that he said he experienced?
No, because the thing is, he's only said it to like maybe 2 or 3 people.
Okay.
Myself included. You're
not just going to take him on his word, are you? That's a little irresponsible.
No, but I mean, like, if because, like, remember I said I've not known him to lie for 15 years of having a friendship.
I mean, just because he's never lied to you doesn't mean he's never lied.
That's true. That is true. And if he has lied, I don't have knowledge of it.
So maybe you shouldn't take him at his word. Maybe you should ask him for some video. You know what? Right. Next time you get to speak to him, you should ask him, hey, man, next time you get to do an exorcism, bring a video camera with you. We want to see how it works.
Yeah. Well, he could record it on his phone, but the thing is, he's not very tech savvy. He's like early 70s.
Maybe he should bring a film crew with him then.
Maybe
that'd be good.
But
have some extra eyes on everything that's happening, right? Document it all for science.
Yeah, but wouldn't that come across as virtue signaling though?
No, I think if you could prove that there is some sort of extra dimensional threat to humanity conclusively, and you could show how to fight back against it, I think most people would appreciate that.
Okay, that's fair.
I think most people would say, holy shit, thanks for letting us know. We're going to start doing this to everyone now. Right?
Fair enough. Okay, well, I can give you examples in my own life, but yeah, the thing is, even if I had a video camera, it wouldn't make any difference because the healing that happened to me was internal and it couldn't be verified.
Well, yeah, but we would be able to at least see the surrounding chaos, right? I mean, plates don't just levitate out of their storage area and smash themselves on walls every day.
No, that's certainly true.
So you getting that on video would be kind of intense, It
would. Or would it be in an apartment?
Well, I mean, I think I'm just going to turn off my camera because this thing is just acting up. I can't get it to sit.
Cam, did you really miss that pun that I just gave you?
Yeah, because I was dealing with my camera. I'm sorry. What did you say?
I said what you said it was intense. I said, or was it in an apartment?
Shut up, man. Anyway, back to the matter at hand, the demon summoning. When are we doing this?
Not tonight. That's for sure. I
don't have all the components necessary tonight, but I could, if we plan this out for a month or two, I have time to get up to some metaphysical shops or something and buy the necessary components. Read up on the procedure.
You could talk to a witch or something like that too, right?
Maybe, but I think as a Christian, you're kind of like the authority on this, right? Because you guys are the only ones talking about demons and stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, we are the ones who do the what's it called? Exorcism. We don't do the summoning.
Okay, well, I can meet you halfway then. I'll do the summoning, and then you do the exorcism, right? We complement each other in that sense, and we can provide. We do it a couple of times for the sake of reproducibility and what do we call it? Consistency of results, right? And we want to make sure that we're following the scientific method here. But I mean, if you can complete several successful exorcisms in a row, I would say that would prove your position pretty solidly. I don't know that I would have any arguments against you after that.
Oh, really? No, you probably wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. So what do you say? You want to do it?
Sure.
Hell yeah. When are we going to do it? I can make arrangements to drive to Ottawa. I can make arrangements. No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious about this. I don't know about you. I am dead serious. I will drive to Ottawa to summon a demon and watch you exorcise it.
When?
I will do this. When are you free? We can do it after the debate if you want.
I can do it before the debate or after the debate.
Well, it definitely couldn't be this month and probably not next month, just because financials. I've had some financial trouble recently, and I'm just getting out of it.
We're talking in
so
June.
Maybe June or July, I could definitely make arrangements to drive to Ottawa. And yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Uh-oh. Hold on. I can move my microphone a little closer. I know. I'm transmitting. I think you just can't hear me. Uh-oh.
Well, I can hear you well and clear.
Hello? Can you hear me now? I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Awesome. So anyway, I can make arrangements in June or July to drive up to Ottawa and summon a demon with you. And then watch you exorcise it.
This is amazing.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. I will talk to Peter. We will set it up. We will do it. We will summon a demon, and you will exorcise it, and that'll be the end of that. That is how we prove Christianity true. That's how we do it.
That would be good. That would be scientific, verifiable proof, wouldn't it?
Hell yeah, it would. It absolutely would.
So June 3rd, I'm debating you, and June 22, I'm in a karate tournament. But other than those 2 days, I am.
So let's shoot for July then. I don't want to get in the middle of your tournament schedule. So let's do it after your tournament. We can set it not the 4th. I have a date with very expensive fireworks that day.
Of course.
It can't be the 4th of July. I have a firework date that day. But let me see. I can definitely do we can shoot for mid-July.
Sure.
We can shoot for mid-July.
You can.
And I will talk to Peter about this and maybe Kentucky. I was on his show on Monday. I don't know if you saw.
I didn't.
On Kentucky Atheists YouTube channel. That was a lot of fun. We had a good time. Had a lot of interesting conversations. And maybe we can do a little meetup, man. And we can talk in person and hang out and get some Tim Hortons, because I've never had Tim Hortons. And we can summon a demon, dude. And then you can exorcise it. And you can watch us sell our souls to the demon, and then you can exorcise it. You can watch us sell our souls. Hey Matt, we can hear the audio through your mic, dude. You can watch us sell our souls. Hey Matt, we can hear the
yeah, okay, hold on a second.
You can watch us sell our soul. Oh, there we go.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. What's up, dude?
Well, I don't know. I just thought I don't know. Am I allowed to jump in or?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We're making plans for a demon summoning. You want in on this?
No, not really. I'm not a Satan worshiper.
Oh, no. You're not summoning the demon. You can help exorcise it if you want. We're going to be summoning the demon.
Okay.
It's like we're going to meet you halfway, right? Yeah.
I would love to come, but unfortunately, I do have to work.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, what day is it on, and where is it located?
We're deciding on that. I think we should shoot for like mid-July. I have a date with very expensive fireworks on the 4th of July, so I can't do that day.
Cam, are you local? Like, are you around like Canada? Are you in Canada?
Oh no, I live in West Virginia, brother, but I love driving, so I'm totally down to drive up to
You're
Canada.
gonna come to Canada
to summon a demon? Yes, 100%.
Oh, well,
I'm dead serious about this.
Well, don't you work?
Yeah, I can make time. I can move my schedule around.
Right.
I'm a freelancer, man. I make my own schedule.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
I sure do. I have 2 of them, actually.
Okay, that's cool.
I have my personal one, and now I have an atheist YouTube channel because I guess I'm doing this now.
Well, I'm gonna create like Rob. I'm gonna create a Christian YouTube channel. I think.
Hell yeah! Fuck yeah, man! Go for it. Yeah, we would love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, it's all about having fun, right?
It's about having good, intelligent, good faith discussions.
Up until someone else goes to hell, you know what I'm saying? You know.
I was telling Rob I would send myself to hell on principle, so you don't have to worry about insulting me with that.
Yeah. No, I was just teasing, man.
No, it's all good.
So, I do think though. I think Rob and I do have different views about this kind of stuff. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but I don't know, Rob. Do you want to talk about demons and stuff, or?
Sure, man, go for it.
So pretty much, I think what if you look at the Christian tradition, okay. Long story short, I think the Christian tradition, the view, or at least the Augustinian view, is that evil, okay, Satan, demons, these are all like anthropomorphisms of something that doesn't really exist.
So what do you mean by that?
Well, I think the devil is an illustration, or I guess an anthropomorphism of evil. Okay, but within the Christian tradition, evil, like a positive evil, doesn't exist.
Are you saying that Satan doesn't exist?
I am saying that, yeah.
Whoa, that's super interesting. Okay,
and this is what I think the Christian tradition really is saying.
So then, who was Jesus tempted by in the wilderness, and who did Jesus tell Peter to get behind him? And
well, I know, like this view brings a lot of questions to the scripture, right? But I still think I'm pretty confident that at least this is what the Christian tradition says about. Because you think about it, okay. So an alternative to the Christian tradition or traditional Christianity is Gnosticism.
Oh, I love the Gnostics. Gnosticism is so fun. I love that.
Duality, man. Totally false duality.
I love Gnosticism. So
yeah, well, Gnosticism. Okay, because okay, so the Christian tradition, it's God, and that's pretty much all it is. And then in Gnostic traditions, there's like two gods. There's God and then the devil. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like Batman and the Joker.
Well, it's a little more complicated than that, but yeah, kind of. Like the Christian God and the Gnostic view is like an inferior creation that is like wicked and angry and jealous. Yaldabaoth is his name, or Seklas. It comes from the Gospel of Judas. Fantastic manuscript. You should totally read it.
Yeah, so you're probably more educated on it than I am. So
I'm fucking autistic for this shit. I love it.
Well, that's good. Like I'm watching a series on not Netflix, but Prime Video on the occult.
Oh, yes.
I'm not heavily into the occult, but I'm interested in the occult.
Oh yeah, no, it's a fascinating area of study. I love reading into it and learning the history of it, man. It's
okay.
Cool.
I have a question for Matt.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when in the book of Job, when Satan had God gave Satan an audience, was that fictional? Or was this like how do you make sense of this?
So, on my view, it's not a theological issue to believe aspects of the Bible are mythological.
Really?
No. Yeah. To me, there's no. I'm not being a bad Christian for saying that there's aspects of the Bible that are mythological, and I have no problem saying that the book of Job is a mythological book.
So then, Matt, can I ask what your specific theological position is? What is your denomination?
So surprisingly, I grew up Reformed. I don't know if that means anything to you.
It means something to Rob, certainly.
Because Rob is a Reformed.
He grew up in Reformed Pentecostal, yeah.
I grew up in the Reformed church, and but when I read the Christian tradition, I really think, even though a lot of my peers like Rob might disagree with me, I really think my views are traditional.
Traditional meaning what?
Okay, so that's another interesting question. What is it? Okay, when we talk about the Christian tradition, is there one Christian tradition, or is it several different traditions?
There's many schools of thought, right?
Exactly. So there's different schools of thought, and they're nuanced, right? They change throughout history, theological, intellectual history changes. Sure. And it's different in different cultures, right? Because people's theological views are determined by the kinds of social, cultural problems of their day.
Right.
So, yeah.
So if you had to get under a tent, though, which tent are you getting under?
I don't know. A part of me, I want to say Eastern Orthodox, but
ooh, interesting.
I'm not super into I don't know. I don't know enough about the Orthodox. I know some things.
Okay.
That I think are right. I guess
I heard Eastern Orthodox is the one that's still kind of an enigma to me, right? I was raised Roman Catholic, so I have a lot of knowledge about that, and I interact with a lot of Protestants in my life,
right?
So I know a lot about that. It's the Eastern Orthodox stuff that always gets me. It's such a fucking mystery. I heard a comedian, I can't remember his name right now. He described it as where you believe in God, but God doesn't believe in you.
Yeah, well, I like that.
That's pretty funny.
I've never heard that before. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I say I'm Eastern, I'm not Eastern Orthodox, man. I've been to a church a couple times.
But sort of that style of interpretation is sort of
it's heavy. Okay, so this is the thing. It's heavier on the mystical and on the occult. Yeah. That's my understanding of Eastern Orthodox.
They're big on the mystery.
More of a mystery in Western Christianity, like Roman Catholicism and even Protestantism. There's a heavy emphasis on trying to intellectualize God.
Yeah.
Whereas Eastern Orthodox,
making him a concrete concept.
Exactly. God is all powerful. God is all good. I don't think the Eastern Orthodox tradition would talk about God in such positive ways.
No. They're super mystical about it. It's so interesting to see the difference in literature and interpretation between Eastern and Western traditions. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So for somebody who's interested in Christianity and I'm a Christian, I like learning about other Christian traditions, right? I like getting best of all worlds, I don't know if I identify with one. I guess in some respects I lean toward Catholicism, but they have their issues too. So
plenty of issues. So that's so interesting, man. I have big respect for you, Matt, for being learned about this stuff. I like that.
Yeah, it's different, And I listen. Okay, and I don't know. I haven't listened to anything you about atheism, but I think I think atheism, and this sounds typical of an apologist, but I think atheism has more challenges than Christianity does.
Well, that depends on what you define atheism to be. So I'd like to know what you think atheism means.
Okay, so some atheists would say, atheism is merely a lack of belief in God, right? And that's what they say. Oh, well, atheism doesn't mean anything. It's simply a lack of belief. Okay, but the challenge is, people need to develop a worldview. Okay, they need to develop a way of looking at the world that makes sense to them. Okay, so if somebody says, "Oh, I'm an atheist," okay, so my question would be, well, how do they construe the world? Right? What's their worldview? What if they're an atheist? Then what is it then? What kind of system of knowledge do they have that they can help them interpret the world? See, that's the question. And I don't think many atheists. I think Christianity. This might sound offensive. Christianity is like a tree. And it's easy to attack Christianity from all different angles because we're vulnerable. You know, it's hard to defend the Bible. It's hard to defend specific Christian doctrines. Like it's hard. But the thing is, but if Christianity is the tree, atheism is like the moss. Atheism doesn't really have its own tree. It's parasitic on Christianity. That's my view.
Okay, let me see if I can get my camera to cooperate here.
Sure. I gotta get a drink.
Sure. Take your time.
Yeah. So Kim, we'll get this maybe away from Matt to get back.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna get my drink.
Okay, because Utopia Buster has asked some good questions in the comment section about challenging Matt's assertions about Job and other things being mythological.
He called me a moron for wanting to summon a demon. I think that's not very nice. Utopia Buster, you should be more nice, man. Let's be nice.
Or him?
No, not you. Utopia Buster in the chat. No, you've been great. I like you.
Yeah, okay.
You're cool.
I like to be really honest.
Yeah.
I think here's the thing I think about Utopia Buster. I think he's a good guy, but I think he just needs to chill the F down.
Maybe. I'm willing to take your word for it.
I think, there's a lot of people in this world that when they get passionate about something, they get a little too aggressive, right? And I think Utopia Buster is one of those people that gets a little too aggressive and too excited. Just kind of like, whereas
listen, I won't fault anyone for having passion. Definitely.
No, we're not. Right. But chill, just relax.
Yeah. So
I think
Rob,
I think he's not. I think he's passionate, but he has to learn some calm, learn some chill with his.
Yeah,
passion.
for sure. We all have something to work on.
Yeah. Oh, no, except for me, I'm perfect.
Careful.
Oh, I thought you were gone the whole time. You don't need to prove about the whole thing.
Could have fooled me, man.
Yeah,
Rob, you had a question for Matt.
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, it's in regards to what Utopia Buster was saying. So, like, why do you think that Job and others are mythological? Like, what's your standard, and how, and what authority do you use to determine?
That is a good question. How do you determine what is mythological and what isn't in the Bible?
Okay, so I'm going to admit a certain intellectual humility here, and say I'm not a biblical scholar. Okay, like I don't know. I didn't look through the Bible to sit there and just trying to think, well, what does mythological literature look like? What is poetic literature like? What does literal literature look like? I'm aware of these sorts of questions, but I'm not the kind of scholar to give all concrete answers to every simple question. All I'm trying to say is I'm open if the scholarly consensus is that Job is mythological literature, I would probably just accept that consensus. And that's what I think the consensus is. That
so then people would just say, then you're just a sheep.
I don't think I'm a sheep.
No, but I mean, I'm not saying there's people that would say that if you just go by consensus, because it's consensus.
Yeah, I mean, surely making up your own mind is important, right, man?
Yeah, but I don't have the time to do that. Like, okay, I work every day, right? I don't have time to think about everything in the Bible. I can only think about a little bit of things, right?
Interesting.
So I think the Christian view is that knowledge seeking is a collective activity. Like I'm supposed to rely on other people who are more qualified to me to answer these questions.
I do think that's moronic, Utopia Buster. But I don't think
I think it's a great idea.
I don't think Kem is a moron. I think he's being silly, but he doesn't think so.
I'm not being silly. I'm being dead serious.
I don't know.
I am dead serious.
We can go over the map with this.
So Matt, I guess my issue with what you're saying is that you're sort of it sounds like you're not relying on people, because I rely on people all the time to educate myself, right? I like to hear what other people have to say. I go to the experts and I hear their presentations on the evidence, and I listen to their points, and I take time to consider everything they present me. And then I look at competing points of view, and then I make up my own mind, right? I don't have to be a subject matter expert to learn about a subject.
Yeah.
How much learning do you do about the Bible just sort of casually as part of your normal day?
I know the biblical stories, right? Like I know the Bible. Like I know the Bible.
Sure.
Like I don't. I don't know. I don't really because it doesn't bother me if Job is mythological or literal. Like it doesn't bother me. Like I don't know. Like why would I study it if it's not something that's pressing? I'm not going to lose my faith either way, right? Like it's
right.
No, but that's not what we're really saying. We're not saying you're really going to lose your faith if you believe that Job is mythological or literal. But to say that Job is mythical, then you've made the claim, but now you've kind of shot yourself in the foot because you can't even back it up.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm not saying it is. I'm pretty sure it's mythological, and I'm saying that because a friend of mine who lives in Buffalo, across the border, who's a New Testament. Well, she's a New Testament professor, but she also knows about the Old Testament. Okay. She thinks it's mythological, and I just trust her. Like I don't know, she knows about biblical scholarship more than me, so I don't know. I just accept it. I accept.
Matt, have you read?
You know a biblical scholar.
Yeah, I do know a biblical scholar.
That's a really cool resource.
She's not a Christian either, so figure that out.
Huh. And within the minority of biblical scholars, because most of them are Christian.
Well, I would disagree with that. So,
there's Bart Ehrman.
A lot of
Bart Ehrman was a Christian when he did all his research.
So in Christianity, so in North America, there's the seminaries are separate from the universities.
Right.
So when biblical scholarship is going on at a university, it's usually in an anthropology department, which is like
or in a divinities.
It's secular. It's not religious. It's only
it's secular because it's in academia, but the individuals carrying out the research, the majority of them just like statistically are Christian.
I question that. I don't know the stats, but I don't think a lot of biblical scholars, I don't know. I guess it'd be 50-50. I don't know the stats, but I'm not surprised if secular people are interested in reading Shakespeare. Secular people are interested in reading the Bible.
Plenty of religious people are interested in the Bible as well.
Yeah,
and many of them are interested in the history.
So they're studying it from different philosophical assumptions.
Right.
So
or rather, with no philosophical assumptions. We're just going to go where the evidence takes us, right?
Well, I think that's a philosophical assumption.
What do you mean?
The question of what constitutes evidence.
Where the evidence takes
what
us
is
a philosophical assumption?
What is evidence? What is acceptable evidence?
Hold on.
I would disagree with that.
So acceptable evidence of what?
Okay, let me give you an illustration to illustrate my point. Okay, so I'm assuming that the only appropriate evidence, your view would be it has to be scientific, right?
I guess it has to be empirical, right?
Okay,
that's all I require.
When I hear empirical, I think the scientific method. Okay, so my mom loves me. Okay. Now my question is, okay, so how do I prove that? If I was going to prove my mom loves me in a scientific or empirical way, I have to define love, okay, as a fluctuation of hormones in her body, okay, and I have
or
to
you
measure
could define it as an emotional experience.
But you could demonstrate. She could demonstrate it, though, Matt.
Okay, but that's no longer empirical. Like that's when I think of empirical evidence, I think you're going through the scientific process. You're defining your terms. What is love? Well, you have to define it in a way that's measurable. Love is hormones fluctuating in the body. Okay, and then you measure those hormones, and when I'm around her, these hormones go up and down, and then we go, oh, she loves me. Okay. Now the question is, can I know she loves me without going through the scientific method? Right. That's the question. And yes, I can. By having a relationship with her. So this is
not really, because all you're proving there is that you have a relationship, right? You can't prove what's in her head. I think this is a bad example. I think
it's a great example.
For the historicity of a text, I think evidence would be like manuscripts. Are there archaeological finds, like artifacts? If we want to trace a document back in history, we trace it down the copy line.
Okay, right? So let's take those examples, okay? So so science, by definition, okay, excludes the possibility of the divine. Science can't prove God or disprove God.
That's not true.
Science as method. Sorry?
The scientific method would rule out God, but science itself wouldn't.
Okay,
There's
so
different kinds of methods.
clarification: the scientific method doesn't rule anything out until it's completed, right? And the scientific method really doesn't rule things out more than it helps you confirm or reject a hypothesis, a specific hypothesis. Right?
No, the scientific method does rule out question of the divine. The scientific method is.
I mean, it depends, I guess, on how you. My camera just is refusing.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm sorry, guys. So, I mean, I guess it depends on what you define as the divine.
Well, it's not something that's in our it's not in the natural world around us. I can't see God. I can't feel God unless, say maybe Jesus Christ. Okay, but that's a separate, like the incarnation is separate.
Sure. Right? I mean, do you believe that God exists, like factually, like within the confines of our universe? Do you think God is?
Well, God is within and without the universe, right? So God.
Okay, but does he exist within the universe? Is he like a physical?
Within and without. So God is both
immanent
and transcendent.
Okay, well, I don't. Nothing that exists outside the universe is anything that I can actually like deal with, right? So I can just. We don't need to worry about that. Right. Do you believe that God exists like physically?
Well, God's not physical, so no, I don't believe.
So then, in what context does he exist then? Let's define existence here.
Okay, so define existence is like the biggest philosophical question, right? So, what is existence? Whatever it is, right?
No. I mean, define the nature of your God's existence is what I'm saying. In what way does he exist?
Okay, so to get very metaphysical here, God is the ground of all being. So God.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, okay. Another way to put it, Aristotelian way. So God is the cause of everything. So there's different levels. Okay, so on Aristotelian philosophy, there's different levels of causation. Okay, so the grass grows. Why does the grass grow? Okay, it grows because there's water, there's soil, there's but God also makes the grass grow. So it's possible for the grass to grow because of all the scientific reasons. But It's also possible simultaneously for God to be the first cause of all these causal relations. Right?
Can God's portion of the causation be isolated? Could you produce a blade of grass that only grows because God wants it to grow?
So God is the ground for the entire process. You can't separate the two. So my evidence for God.
So at what point does God end and everything else begin?
So God. So I think I'm trying to articulate, what the ancient philosophers, the ancient theologians, how they thought about God.
I want to know what you think about God, man.
Well,
I don't care what Aristotle thought about God.
So God is the ground of all being.
Okay.
So that's what it is. So
what does that mean? Because that state doesn't. I'm not sure what that means.
Okay, another way to say it. So God is the condition for the possibility of everything that is. Or God is the necessary being that supports all contingent beings. I don't know.
Okay. Hold on. I like that one. Where does the necessary being end and the contingent being begin? That's where I'd like to start.
The necessary being doesn't end because it's necessary.
Well, I mean, where is the differentiating point? Where can I cut these two apart?
So
where I have contingent being and necessary being, because I can't study both of them at the same time. I have to isolate the thing that I'm trying to study.
That's a challenge. So we can't talk about the ground of all existence as if it's like another being. The ground of existence is not like this cup.
Sure.
God is not like this cup. God is the condition for the possibility of this cup. Right? So I can't prove God like I can prove this. God is what makes the
condition for the possibility of the cup.
Yes.
I'm not sure what that means.
Well, I know it's hard for me to explain.
Yeah.
But this is what Christians are trying to argue.
It sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like God and everything else are kind of inseparable and therefore not really distinguishable from each other.
Yeah. So here's
well, if they're not distinguishable for each other, there's no reason to make the distinction. You are God.
Well, okay.
And God is you.
Okay, this is going to even sound more confusing.
Okay.
and this is where I have like I like Eastern Orthodoxy because there's mystical, like I like the occult because I am more mystical. Like like okay, yeah, so I'm open to the mystery. Like I don't know, okay, I don't have to know how it works to know that it does work. Okay. But I think that's,
how do you know that it works?
I don't know how it works.
No. How do you know that it works?
Because it's working.
How do you know that?
Because this is here. This doesn't.
How do you know that?
Well, well, it's here.
How do you know that? No, I'm serious.
Because I see it.
Okay. Well, your eyes produce electrical signals that just go to your brain. Those electrical signals can be replicated artificially. How do you know that you're actually seeing the cup?
Okay, here's another challenge I have with atheism.
Okay.
Is that if you're an atheist, in a certain sense, you never really know if you're living in a matrix.
Correct.
So you never know. Like, you never really know.
Correct.
Okay, but if you're a Christian, there is a sense in which, you know, if you believe that God is all loving, you also kind of believe that God wants you to know the truth about the world.
I would hope so.
So as a Christian, I could be, even though if I was an atheist, I can doubt that this cup exists.
Yes.
Okay, but as a Christian, I believe in a loving God who wants to reveal himself to us and the truth around us. Right? So
sure.
So as a Christian, I could be confident, and it does, you know, a lot of Christians are scared to talk about faith, ironically. But I think faith is essential. Like I have to believe in God for me to really believe that this.
Why?
Because I have to be to put it in Elvin Plantinga's sort of way, I have to have a reason to believe that my perceptions of reality allows me to understand the truth about the world. Maybe not perfectly.
Why? Why do you have to have that assumption?
For me to be confident in my perceptions of reality.
Why do you have to be confident in your perception of reality?
I love for us to have any kind of conversation about the truth about the world.
Why?
Well, why not?
Is it necessary?
Listen, so we can keep asking why. And the thing is, okay.
Well, it's just my problem is that you're presupposing the necessity of things that you haven't demonstrated the necessity for. None of these presuppositions are necessary for you to live your life.
Okay, well, that's true. But if we want to have a discussion about the nature of reality, we have to at least believe that the nature of reality is accessible to us. Right?
No, we just have to demonstrate that it's accessible to us. We don't have to believe anything.
Well, you do have to believe.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do have to believe. Okay, well, knowledge is defined traditionally as justified true belief. I don't have knowledge if I don't also believe it. I don't know anything about this cup if I don't also believe that it's there and it's knowable.
Okay, but does my lack of belief in your cup make it any less accessible for me to verify the existence of the cup?
No, because...
So then the ability exists without the need for the belief. So you don't have to believe that the cup is real to prove that the cup is real.
You have to believe the cup is real to prove that.
You just have to study the cup. That's all you have to do is investigate the nature of the cup.
But when we're talking about truth claims, where we're talking about beliefs, it's or any something is true or false. It's always in the context of whether or not you believe it's true or false.
I don't know that individual belief matters as much as independent verification.
Okay, well, I think I disagree with that. And the verification method, is logical positivism, which is a tradition in philosophy that nobody accepts like since the 60s.
I wonder why.
Well, because logical positivism is self-defeating. Okay, it says all truth claims must be verifiable, but its own truth claims can't be verified. It's a dogmatic assumption.
So if it's not, it's been abandoned by philosophy.
I think,
and it's self-defeating. So why do you choose this particular branch of philosophy? Why do you adopt this position?
No. Your view is self-defeating.
What is my view?
Verificationism.
Evidentialism, imperialism.
it's all
empiricism. Sorry, imperialism. I'm not an imperialist. Empiricism. Sorry.
Yeah. So
I think that if you make a claim, you should have to provide evidence, and that's it.
Okay. So my evidence,
Uh-huh.
okay, for God's existence is well, it's the same. It's the classical arguments. It's
Sure.
the kind of argument about this cup is all the cosmological argument. Why is this here and otherwise? Like, this is a variation of the cosmological argument. So what I'm saying is just traditional Christian
Right,
argument.
but the cosmological argument presupposes the necessity for an initial cause, which I do not make.
Okay,
I don't make that assumption.
Okay, this is the thing.
Nor do I need to, for that matter.
Well, okay, if you want to be intellectually honest, you do need to.
Why is that?
Okay, because intellectuality itself entails that there's an explanation for everything.
Sure.
To say that everything is contingent with no necessity is to say that there's no real reason for contingency. It's not contingent on anything, and that doesn't make sense. So there has to be a necessity. And
no, there doesn't.
Well,
no, there doesn't. I mean,
if you believe in the principle, if you believe that everything needs an explanation,
I don't believe that.
Well, then
not everything needs an explanation, but everything does have an explanation. Just because that explanation is inaccessible to me doesn't mean that that explanation doesn't exist.
Okay, so my girlfriend is calling me.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to let you guys go. But
right.
Hey, I will follow your channel if you ever.
For sure, bro. Anytime you want to talk, hit me up. Follow me on Twitter. All my socials are. They should be somewhere. It's at Kemregik, KEMREGIK.
Okay, so hold on. At
KEMREGIK on Twitter, and my YouTube channel is Tear Your Hair Out, and hair is spelled like the animal.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, because he finds me infuriating.
In a good way, Rob. In a good way. Hair like the animal. HARE. Tear Your Hair Out. It's a new channel. All I have right now is highlights of me and Rob's streams.
Tear Your Hair Out. Yep. 5 subscribers.
Yep. It's a very new channel. I made it the other day.
Yeah. No, this is interesting. I like these kind of comments. Like, I don't know. I just like to be honest, and I completely understand that a lot of what I'm saying sounds very convoluted, and to me, it is. You know, because these are very complicated questions.
They are for sure.
So,
and they're very important questions. I would say it's important that we're having this conversation. So I appreciate you coming on and having that conversation with us.
All right, I gotta go. So thanks a lot, guys.
Take it easy, brother.
Okay.
Have a good one.
See you, man.
Bye.
Dope.
I think I was actually wanting to know that I couldn't get to ask Matt because you guys were having such a wonderful conversation.
It was a good conversation.
Yeah, it was. I was wondering where he stood with macroevolutionary myth creation, but that's a conversation.
That would have been a good question to ask him. We totally missed that one, man.
Yeah, but the thing is, I couldn't get to it because you guys were having such a good conversation. I didn't want to interrupt.
It's a shame he had to step out. I was really feeling like we were going in a good direction there.
Yeah.
We were about to hit Aquinas there. I felt when he started saying about the cosmological argument, I was like, oh boy, we're headed towards Aquinas. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So yeah, I really am curious where he stood with evolution and the young Earth creation, but you know, because the mythological thing sets him up for a possibility of being a deistic evolution Christian.
Yeah, I mean,
possibly.
What's that old comic? God throws atheists a curveball, and God's looking down at the iguana, and he says, "Let there be evolution." I love that comic. That's so funny.
That's funny.
I'll have to find it when I edit this one down. I'll put it on the screen.
I'm not familiar with that. That's funny though.
It's a hilarious comic. I'll have to find it. I'll send it to you on Twitter or some shit. But I
have not heard of this app called Some Shit. You have to enlighten me on it.
Oh, come on, Rob.
You gave it to me, Kev.
You did. I did. I gave it to you. I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. What the hell?
Let me think.
Were you?
Huh?
I said, what the hell you were thinking? I said, you weren't. were you thinking? That is.
No, I am. I'm genuinely drawing a blank on what to talk about next. I'm having
How
such
do you
a good
draw
time.
a blank?
You don't. You don't.
I know.
Ah.
I'm just using all your euphemisms against you, brother.
Hey, Rob.
Hmm.
Can a matchbox?
In a matchbox? Not to my knowledge.
No, but a tin can.
That's true. Oh!
Oh!
I didn't see the right hook. Took me right out.
Oh, yep. I feinted to the left. Boom, right in front of you. Let me throw you another one. Let me hit you with another one too. Two fish in a fish tank. One fish turns to the other and says, "Man, do you know how to drive this thing?"
And
You didn't get it, Rob? Two fish in a fish tank. One fish says to the other fish, "Man, do you know how to drive this thing?"
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I got him.
Oh
I got him.
God.
It took him a minute, but I got him. It took him a minute, but I got him.
Yeah.
See? Hey, I got jokes. Rob.
I know.
I got jokes.
That seemed like
All
a
right,
little
Rob.
fishy. That seemed a little fishy to me, Kevin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say. I'm full of carp.
Well, you know, but yeah, I don't want you to have your fish out of water because then he would be dead.
Oh, boy.
Well, no, I'm a man.
You're serving me like sushi, Rob. What is this?
Well, I don't even like sushi. This is not good for me.
What do you mean? Fish is great for you. Lots
No,
of omega-3.
I don't like sushi as a taste. I know it's healthy for you.
Oh, I thought you said it was super bad for you. I was like, what?
No,
Sorry,
no, I
misheard you.
just said, yeah. Well, that happens. I just don't care for the taste of sushi. I know it's healthy.
Fair enough. Yeah,
I know
raw fish isn't for everybody.
This is true.
So what are we talking about next, Rob? We've made plans for a demon summoning.
So
we had a nice chat. No, what do you mean? Are we not doing this, Rob?
Are
you not going to exorcise this demon that I sell after I sell my soul to him?
But then you would be cleaned up and you'd be ready to repent and give your life to Jesus. This would be amazing.
Well, I can't do that. I've already sold my soul.
But if a demon has been exorcised out of your spirit and body, then you're clean again.
Do I get to keep the Lamborghini?
Yep.
All right. Fuck yeah, let's do it. No, really, let's do it. I'll summon a demon, I'll sell my soul, get my Lamborghini and my house in the woods on 40 acres, and then you exorcise me, and boom, I'm good. Wow. Amazing. Still gonna send myself to hell on principle, but you know, it's good to do it on a clean slate.
What? Why?
Oh, because
if you're on a clean slate, you might.
That sounds super square. Hell's where all the parties are.
But no, it's not. That's a misconception. But if you're in a right state of mind, you might be thinking that hell is not a good idea anymore.
Maybe. Who knows?
Well, the one
you'll
way
have
to
to successfully exorcise the demon from me, Rob, and you'll have to make sure that I can actually summon the demon. Because the whole thing is contingent on a successful demon summoning.
That's true. There is no because communicate was not in you.
Exactly. So you have to help me make sure that I successfully summon the demon and that I successfully sell my soul to him, and then you can exorcise me after I got my Lamborghini and my house on my 40 acres.
Okay. Well, there's probably some stuff I could get online that would help you with this.
Okay. I mean, I will just have to buy a copy of the Lesser Key of Solomon because I know that's where all the sigils are at.
I'm sure there's some cultic spells that will help you.
No, I don't even have to leave the Christian religion to do this, bro. Your theologians wrote methods on how to summon demons.
Well,
your church fathers wrote these things down.
They're not my church fathers, that's for sure.
Sure they are. They're Christians. It's Christian grimoire. It's Christian magic. Well, this is the foundation of Christian demonology, my dude. You guys are the ones who wrote this stuff up.
Anyone who summoned a demon can't in good conscience be wise.
Well, but if they're doing it under the auspices of God, right? I feel like that would be good. You call the demon forth to write down the procedure and warn people in the future about how not to do it, and you seal the demon away with all the power, right, of God and God's light and judgment. No, the Lesser Key of Solomon is Christian grimoire, bro. You guys wrote it. These are your homies. These are your church fathers.
I think it's kind of playing with fire, to be honest.
Well, it's a good thing I'm an arsonist. I'm kidding. For legal reasons, that's I'm not an arsonist. I don't set fires. That's a joke. My lawyer will probably be calling me very soon.
I've been accused of was it? Oh, because I said I've been accused of basically setting gays on fire, which was just so ridiculously absurd. It's not even funny.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Don't do that.
No, I don't.
No, not you. Just sort of in general. That's not cool. We don't set people on fire. That's not what Jesus told us to do.
So, like, it was about trans, like the flags, and I said if someone gave me a gay flag, I said I would set the flag on fire. And someone said, "Oh, so I guess
that's not very nice, Rob."
No, but hear me out. It's symbolism. So I'm just saying I want to destroy the evil that it represents in my mind, and I'm allowed.
What is the evil of people being themselves and loving who they love, Rob?
But
why do you want to get in the way of love? I thought Jesus was all about love.
Yeah, but love has boundaries, though, Ken.
I mean, yeah, but nobody's forcing you to be gay, Rob. They're just asking you to leave them alone.
Yeah, but if they're giving me a flag, are they really leaving me alone?
If they're giving you a what now?
A flag.
It's a gift. Why do you want to burn the? I mean, you can just not accept it. You could be like, no, thank you. You don't have to burn it.
Okay, hypothetically, what if they push it? What if they say, don't leave me alone? It's like, no, you have to take this.
Well, if you need to defend yourself, Rob, that's one thing. But that's not. Nobody's doing that. Well, okay. I shouldn't say nobody's doing that. Nobody reasonable is doing that. There are many unreasonable people. I
was definitely not in good headspace when I put that on Twitter.
I just think.
But Kim, hear me out for a second.
Okay.
But my point is, setting a flag on fire is a far cry from setting a person on fire.
Well, yeah, obviously. I'm just concerned about the message that sends, because that flag represents a lot of people, you know, and a socio-political struggle that's been going on for a very long time. People have died for equal access under the law. And equal protections under the law. And that's what that flag represents.
Yeah, but the thing is, on the other hand, I would be the first person to defend a gay person or anyone, for that matter, who was being assaulted for any reason whatsoever.
It's not just about like attacks on gay people, right? But it is very much about treating them like equal and fellow human beings. Yeah. You know.
I already run the gamut with you in one of our live streams about that particular issue.
Yeah. But understand that when you say that you would burn a LGBT plus flag or whatever, a pride flag, understand that comes off as really
homophobic.
Like, hateful. Well, just hateful. Like that you hate this group of people so much that you're willing to take this. It's like if I burned your country's flag, you know? Like how would you feel if I took a Canadian flag and burned it? Like, that wouldn't feel nice. Of course, I'm not hurting you. I purchased the Canadian flag lawfully. It's my property. I have every right to burn it. But you would feel a little bit like, oh, why are you fucking Canadians?
Kim, if you actually let me answer the question, I can answer the question. I would just feel it's disrespectful.
Sure, I was just finishing my thought.
Okay. That's all I would feel. But it wouldn't really bother me more than that.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. What did you say?
I just feel it would be disrespectful if you burn a Canadian flag, but it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, exactly. But imagine I did it as like a personal thing to you. I said, Rob Grown, I'm doing this because of you, and I burn a Canadian flag. You wouldn't feel like, oh man, that guy has a lot of hate in his heart, you know? You wouldn't think that?
He needs to work out.
I'm sorry, what? You're breaking up again.
I would say that I would think that you have some issues you need to work out.
Sure. And so you understand how that looks on the other side when you do it with a pride flag, right?
Yeah, so
it doesn't feel nice.
Right. Yeah, but the thing is that
we want to be nice people to each other, you know?
Yeah, I noticed that niceness is important to you, Ken.
It's important to me that people be decent to each other. Now, if you're gonna sit here and call me a shitheel and tell me that I'm not worth anything, okay, well, I'm gonna turn the nice off and I'm gonna call a shitheel back, right? And then we're gonna have a pissing contest about it.
Yeah, and then
but there's no need for that. I'm not going to be the first guy to throw that punch. You know, that's the one teaching from Jesus that I will give you credit for. Let he who has not sinned cast the first stone. We should not be figuring out new and fantastic ways to hurt each other.
Oh yeah, well the thing is, I don't think we have. I think we're just using different ways of doing the same shit.
Yeah, but we don't have to do the same shit. We can do different shit, you know?
Yeah, we can be cordial and kind and
we can choose to be nice. Yeah, we can choose to be kind and treat each other with common decency and respect. We don't have to hate gay people. We don't have to hate Christians. I decry any and I have met people like this, right? People in the LGBT community who do the same thing to you that many Christians do to them, right? The dehumanization.
I have a cousin in the LGBT community.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Well, you have a rotating guest as well. So I'm always very frustrated when the dehumanization happens on that end, because I'll turn around and say, dude, you're literally complaining about them doing this to you. Like, be the bigger person, take the high road. Exactly. When they go low, you go high. Like, don't stoop to their level, because then you're no better than they are, right?
Yeah, but my thing is, if you're going to be a consistent person, then you can't base your morality on other people. Otherwise, you're going to be wildly inconsistent with your daily living.
Oh, I don't think so. I base my morality on how I deal with other people specifically.
Ken, hear me out. If today you call me an asshole, hypothetically, and tomorrow you say, you know, Rob, I'm sorry about that. I think you're a nice guy. And then the next day you call me an asshole. Now, I have no idea what the hell is going on with Ken, because one day he thinks I'm nice, next day he thinks I'm an asshole. It's horribly inconsistent for me to build my philosophy about me based on your treatment of me in that situation.
I mean, I don't think that's what's happening, right? Like you go.
That's not what's happening, but I'm just saying generally, it's not a good idea to build your morality on how your interactions with other people if they're inconsistent.
I mean, I don't know. Something about this doesn't add up. I'm basing my moral system on how other people treat me.
A lot of people do. Most people do.
I mean, that's what Jesus said, right? The golden rule, which is not a Christian thing. It's been around since.
No.
You know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Right, not how they do to you.
Oh, well, yeah, sure. I mean, at some point, you have a right of disassociation, right? You can choose to disassociate from people.
Yeah, but my point is, you mistreating me doesn't give me the right to mistreat you, according to Jesus' golden rule, because I don't want to be mistreated. So even if you mistreat me, I still can't justify mistreating you, because I want to be treated well.
Yeah, I mean, my philosophy about that is you make the best effort possible to show that you're not here to be aggressive to people. And if they get aggressive, I can then make the choice to either engage on an aggressive level and continue the conversation in that direction, or I can disengage, right? But that's still a choice that I make, and that's making choices on how to deal with people or how to interact with people based on how they interact with you. I don't think is circular. Right. I think it's just taking in your environment and responding accordingly.
Okay. Oh, Utopia.
Sorry?
Oh, Utopia Buster got upset because Utopia Buster left the chat because I suggested that he reduce his engagement. It's happened.
I don't know that you had to do that.
That was just
I
a
think
suggestion.
engagement is good. I think it's just the tone and the mindset that he's coming at this with is unfortunate. But again, I think it's just his prerogative, right? And you just sort of have to meet people where they're at. And if that's where he's at, I can't necessarily engage with stuff like that if he's being super aggressive. So I just choose not to. But yeah, I think establishing a moral system that is based on sort of like general rules about how we interact with others, right? And what kinds of interactions are okay and not okay is not a bad way to go.
1 second, Ken.
Sure, take your time.
Sorry, can you repeat that for like the last 2 minutes? My internet just reset.
Oh boy, yeah, I'm having trouble hearing you as well. I said that I don't think a moral system, or rather, I think that a moral system that is based on sort of a general understanding of human interactions and the standards of consent and free participation and voluntarism is a pretty good standard. I think that's a pretty good baseline that we can sort of start to construct a framework out of. Right.
Okay.
I think the base is everybody is free to do what they want to do, so long as in doing so they do not violate anyone else's rights. And all transactions or interactions between people ought to be mutually consensual.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen.
No, not in reality. But that's how. But then we resolve the dispute, right? Okay. So when
here's something I think, if I can say, just to if I can try to understand you, I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, but my position is that your position is, even if God did exist, he's not necessary.
No, that is not my position. Okay. So my position is, I don't believe you when you say that there is a God. I am not currently convinced that a God is necessary. Other explanations that have been presented to me with evidence don't require a God, and they seem pretty convincing, right? It's not that I'm decided, such as evolution via natural selection, such as the naturalist approach, right?
But the thing is that the naturalist approach.
Well, hold on. If a God exists, right? If a God exists, it should be evaluated by the same moral system that we apply to everyone, right? I don't believe that a God should be held above humans morally. I think moral systems are universal and they have to cover everything on equal footing. Otherwise, they break, right? No one should be, in the same way that no one should be above the law, no one should be above morality, right?
Okay, can I draw an analogy with an illustration? Okay,
sure.
You can't see it, but there is a cell phone in my jean pocket.
Okay.
Let's say hypothetically, I was the sole designer and creator and programmer of the cell phone that I now have in my hand. Would the programming in my body have to be submitted to the same level of programming in the cell phone?
Is the cell phone alive?
No.
Then no.
Okay.
If it's not a living thing, then we can stop our questioning there. It's an inanimate object, which means it's lawfully owned property, which means you can do what you want with it.
Okay, let me try it another way. Let's say I was able to take a few of the cells from my body and replicate it so I could put it in a lab and over time grow a clone of myself.
Okay. That clone has your DNA, correct?
Correct.
So that is you.
Yes.
Okay, so you are essentially, as far as I'm concerned, you are one entity. Either it is your property or it is you, and I don't have to make any special rules. Okay, my system is not broken.
Okay, no, let me flesh this out.
Sure.
Okay, so do I have to abide by the same moral system that my clone does?
Yes.
Why?
Because you are one and the same, or it is your property.
But it's a
It
copy.
depends on how. What's that?
But it's a copy. It's not the original.
Yeah, but I define the individual at the DNA. So in this scenario, either you are one and the same, or it is your property.
Okay, let's make it one last hypothetical. Let's say I was God and I was able to create a person that has not been created before yet.
Okay.
Or yet.
Sure.
I've created a person that has not been created yet. That does have DNA, but I don't have DNA because I'm immaterial.
I would suppose that there is some material qualifier for your existence, right? There is some, even if it's not DNA, there is some minimal quanta that you are made of, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, God has no quanta. God is
God has
completely
composition, correct?
not materially.
Does it have immaterial spiritual quanta?
Yes.
I'll grant you the existence of that.
Okay.
Does God have like spiritual DNA?
I don't know that spiritual.
So how does God differentiate himself from his creations?
By the fact
Where does
that
God end and his creations begin?
God ends and his creation begins, but with the fact that humans are physical, material beings, and God is not.
Okay. So God ends at the material.
Exactly.
Okay. So then how are you interacting with the material world if you stop at the material? If you cannot affect anything in the material world, how are you creating things?
Oh, I didn't say it couldn't affect anything in the material world.
Okay,
I'm not,
so you have a measurable effect on the material world. I can measure your impact on the material world, right? When you move your hand, I can measure how much air moves around, right? I can measure God's volume, how much space he takes up, because he's interacting with the material world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's pushing atoms around. He has a material existence.
Yeah, he can push items around if he chooses to.
Right, but when God enters into the material world, right? He has a material existence, correct?
It's tough
because how is he interacting with, like, okay, let's say that God enters the room you're in, right? So God is going to take up an amount of space, correct? And we would be able to measure the displacement of atoms in the air.
Think about it like the you're familiar with the show The Flash.
I haven't watched it, but I'm familiar with The Flash as a concept. Yes.
Okay, so you know that energy can exist in a room, but not materially, right?
Energy is a form of matter.
Okay, how so? It doesn't take up any space.
Energy, like lightning, for instance, is energy. It's just free electrons. So those are particles.
Mass.
It doesn't matter. They're still particles. We can still measure their material existence, right? They have charge. They flow through copper wires. They flow through clouds when lightning strikes. Same thing with like plasma. Plasma could be considered energy. It's a fourth state of matter.
Okay, let's say
again, just free electrons.
Example, at the very most, God may at some times take on that kind of energy.
Okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a being made of energy. Cool. We can measure that. That's fine. I can measure how many electrons or the rate of flow of electrons through God's form, I guess. Sure. Okay, continue.
But the thing is, God doesn't usually. God usually passes immaterially from wherever he wants to wherever he wants to.
Sure, right. But we're saying that he's coming down here to have an interaction with us, right?
Yeah, to have interaction with us, he would have to take up some form of at least a mental aptitude for energy to have conversation.
Well, the mental has to exist. The mental implicates a mind, and a mind requires matter, right? The brain is a material existence. It's a material thing.
In humans, it is.
In everything, it is. The brain. We have never observed anything in nature that had a brain that was immaterial. So to imply a mind, it means a brain.
God, but we haven't observed God in nature, have we?
Right, but we're supposing a situation in which he steps into the material world with a material existence, right?
I mean, he did that in a person of Jesus, but
okay, Cool. So we can use Jesus as an example of God in material in the material world with a material existence, right? Jesus. So to answer your question, I would apply the same moral standard to Jesus that I do to everyone else.
But that's fair
So
to Jesus.
if Jesus stole something from me, I would hold him accountable for the theft.
Exactly, and you could. The thing is, Jesus has to submit to the laws, the submit to those standards because he willingly came in this planet, so he has to submit to the same laws.
He doesn't have to. He makes that choice. He can choose to steal something from me. He can choose to speak aggressively to me if he wants to. He can choose to kill people like Peter did. This is, you know,
Who did Peter kill?
Huh?
Who did Peter kill?
Oh, 2 people in the New Testament.
Who? Oh,
they were early church followers. He extorted them for money.
Right. No, but the church followers extorted Peter.
No. They just kept some of the money that they sold from their.
Right, but Peter didn't kill them. The Holy Spirit did.
I mean, Peter talked to them and then they dropped dead. I would say that that's killing. And if we're going to say that Peter was full of the Holy Spirit and he manipulated the Holy Spirit in order to kill these 2 people, I would still call that murder.
No. The Holy Spirit killed them.
Holy shit, then the Holy Spirit is a murderer. That's crazy. Why would you kill people for not giving you their money, bro? That's kind of wild.
It was lying to God, the Holy Spirit, that did them in.
I don't know, man. This sounds like gang violence to me. This sounds like the Crips ran up on somebody, bro. Like,
what?
You feel me? This sounds like a drive-by shooting, bro. Like, they didn't give them. You mugged them. Peter mugged them. Give me your money. Okay, here's some of my money. No, give me all of your money. I don't want to give you all my money. Bang, dead.
Peter didn't kill them.
I don't know, dude. He was the last person to speak to them. They dropped dead right in front of him. I would say Peter's a prime suspect.
Prime suspect I can work with.
Sure. Okay. But anyway, so, I mean, I would apply the same moral standard to Jesus as I would to everyone, right? So if Jesus told me, right, I, God, have created a place for you to go to if you do not follow me in my ways, where you will suffer eternal torment. I would look at Jesus and I'd be like, dude, that's fucked up. Please get out of my house. That is fuck you, dude. That's not cool.
But you fundamentally misunderstood about everything you just said is wrong.
What do you mean?
What I mean by that is Jesus didn't create a place for people.
Jesus is God.
Right, but hear me out. Jesus didn't create hell for people to...
God created hell.
Okay, well, Jesus is God.
Sure.
So Jesus didn't create hell Jesus actually didn't create hell for humans. He initially created it for angels to rebel.
Okay, let me amend the statement. So Jesus says, hey, man, here's my 12-step program. If you don't do it, you're going to go to this place that I originally built for all these other assholes who didn't want to listen to me. I didn't want to send you there, but I guess that's what we're doing if you don't want to do my 12-step program. I would say, yo, dude, that's fucked up. Fuck you. Get out of my house. Like,
then you've misunderstood something else about him.
Okay.
Are you willing to listen?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the 12-step program you couldn't keep anyways, which is why Jesus came to die on the cross in the first place. So you can't even...
Well, hold on, but that happened before I was born. That's not fair. I didn't even get a chance to look over and try to follow the 12-step program.
Okay, but life's not fair. Let's move on.
well, hold on. Don't you think you should be given a fair shot? Why should you be punished for the crimes of people 2,000 years ago?
Okay, how old were you when you committed your first mortal sin?
I don't believe in moral sin.
Okay, let me rephrase that. How old were you when you first lied or stole something, irrespective of its value?
I was probably like 2 or 3.
So when you're in 2 or 3, then you're already guilty.
Well, wow, that's not fair.
Why not?
A 2-year-old can't be held accountable for anything that severe, bro. Are you serious?
Okay, let's take this.
You're gonna tell a 2-year-old ignorance of the law is no excuse, dude? We don't even throw kids in regular jail, man. You're damning them to hell.
Okay, let's take it further. When was the first time you did something you knew was wrong but still did it anyways? Like we're talking like within like age of accountability now.
Something I knew was wrong.
And you did it anyways. And you were you passed the age of accountability. You're now at the age of accountability.
Wrong in the sense that I violated someone's rights? Because that's the only kind of wrong that I recognize.
Okay.
Or that I violated the terms of an agreement or a contract that I signed while not under duress. I wouldn't be able to tell you. Assume age of accountability. So 18. I was 18 years old when I broke my first contract or violated someone else's rights for the first time after the age of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I had not yet been shown that my definition of wrong is based on my environment, because nobody came in and demonstrated to me that an objective standard existed. I'm still going to plead ignorance here because I feel like these are exigent circumstances. I mean, if it doesn't, then it doesn't matter, because Jesus is not somebody that I want to listen to anyway. If Jesus is not going to give me a fair shake to begin with, and is going to just, judge me from the rafters without trying to let me know what the rules of the game are,
But what if he already has and you weren't listening?
How do I know that?
Well, you have
also,
the Bible,
if Jesus knows that I have not understood, that it has not been made clear to me. This is back to the making it plain to everyone, right? Why would Jesus judge me before he was confident that I understood the nature of the decision and the consequences involved?
Are you really trying to tell me at 18 you didn't?
I don't know this now. We're supposing a situation in which Jesus comes to Earth, right, and tells me, "Hey, man, I gave you a fair shake." Fucking when, dude? This is the first time I've ever spoken to you. You and I have never spoken before. I had no reason to believe any of these other people who provided imperfect argumentation and imperfect proof of your existence and your law. That's not fair.
How many how old are you now, Cam?
I'm 24.
Okay, of your 24 years of existence,
yes.
When did you first know that the Bible existed?
I think that's irrelevant. The question I'm asking here is,
it
has never been demonstrated to me that the Bible is true. I have no reason to believe anyone that presented it to me.
How old were you when you first heard of the Bible?
I don't know, 2 or 3.
Okay. And when did you first hear about the Bible and when the stories somewhat made sense to you?
2 or 3.
You understood at 2.
I understood that there was a guy named Jesus and that he was born in a manger. I understood that God was a thing that existed, but nobody demonstrated these things to me. Everybody just told me they were true.
Okay, that's fair.
I had no genuine reason to believe any of these things.
And in 22 years, have you ever read the Bible?
Yes, I read the Bible as part of my deconversion process. Reading the Bible was what triggered the deconversion.
And did you read it cover to cover?
Yes, over the course of a weekend.
Wow.
Well, I skimmed most. I was 10.
Wow.
I read the book of Job completely, and I was very horrified by it. I read Genesis. I remember reading the book of John and not understanding it. You have to understand that most of this was really dense, and the Old Testament stuff didn't make a lot of sense to me as a kid. But I read enough of it to know that it didn't make sense to me. And the moment
There's
it
still
stopped
things in the Old Testament that don't make any sense to me. And
that's concerning because that's concerning because you're a young Earth creationist. So fundamentally, your entire belief system depends on your understanding of this one book.
Well, there's no. I mean, there's 2,000 pages in a book. There's elements there that it still don't make sense to my mind.
You should try to rectify that as best as possible. I think you should probably try to read the Bible in its complete. I'm doing that now. Over the last several weeks, I've done nothing but study the fucking Bible, dude.
Well, there's
because I realize that as an adult, I need to understand the minutia of all of this.
Okay, there's things in Revelation that bear no one way or the other on young Earth's creationism.
Well, Revelations is a political commentary. It's got nothing to do with anything.
It's not political at all.
Sure, it is.
Sorry,
it's a political commentary on Rome and Emperor Nero. That's what the whole 666 thing is. It's his name in Hebrew gematria. Huh?
That's an oversimplification.
I mean, that's the historical context under which the book was written. That is what was happening at the time.
You think?
It's not about Nero. It's a political. It is using theological points to make political commentary on the state of the Roman Empire at the time and the persecution of Christians by the Roman Empire.
Right, but I would say
in the same way that the book of Daniel was political commentary on their persecution by the Persians.
Right.
I
agree to that. And Daniel and Revelation are very interconnected, of course.
Yeah, well, that's because Revelation is using Daniel as cover to sound authoritative. That's why it confirms it uses like the beast as symbolism for how Rome supersedes the peril of all of the other four kingdoms combined.
Right. No, and they're all the other thing that Revelation mentioned was, well, there's a lot of math in Revelation as well.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of gematria involved.
Exactly. So, and there's also what other book? Daniel, Jeremiah. Oh yeah, it's definitely some of Isaiah, but mostly Daniel.
Yeah. But anyway, so like I read what I could understand of the Bible as a 10-year-old child, and then I immediately said, "This doesn't make any sense. I need to learn more about this." And so the first thing I did was I opened up the magic box where all of human knowledge is collected, and I started looking and educating myself. It's the internet, Rob.
Where's this box? Pardon?
It's the internet. It's the box you're talking to me through, and it's the box I'm talking to you through. Yeah, the series of pipes. So
you think? Let me ask you. Do you think abiogenesis is a more plausible explanation for the origins of life than creation?
Yes, only because it has evidence and creation doesn't.
What evidence? But no one's observed evolution or abiogenesis.
Sure, we have. Absolutely. Well, we've observed evolution. Abiogenesis, remember, is unfinished, right? It's still an open question, and abiogenesis is just one of many candidates that we've had over the course of biology's history.
Would you say it's the best one going right now?
Yes, definitely, by far, by a huge margin.
You realize
I think Evo-Devo, evolutionary development, or developmental evolution, rather, is the primo scientific field of study right now in biology. I think they have uncovered more secrets about the origin of life, about the diversification of species across the face of the earth, than any other field of science could have possibly hoped to achieve. I think those people, people like Gutsick Gibbon on YouTube, right? I mean, these people who are working their asses off to do the research and understand these phenomenon, and write it all down so that you and I can read about it.
It would be better for their own health to keep them on.
Very funny, Rob.
Okay.
Point being, I have a great deal of confidence in abiogenesis as I understand it, as the primary contender right now for origin of life on Earth.
But you do understand.
I think it makes the most sense.
You do understand that people putting things in the lab would make there's an intelligent mind behind. For example, let me rephrase this. Abiogenesis, for it to occur, had to have no intelligence helping it. That means no one could. That means no one put it in a lab. No one could put it under any kind of screening. It just happened on its own.
I mean, yeah, but so does creation. You didn't witness the moment of creation, and nobody
Agreed.
here
Yeah,
did.
I agree.
So you believe it on faith.
To a degree.
And there's also no evidence of it, right? Because evidence of abiogenesis, for instance, would be that as we go further down the evolutionary line, or rather up the evolutionary line, right? Because we're going back in time. As we trace these roots down to their common ancestry, we end up at simple single cellular life. Like we recently just discovered fossilized single-celled organisms dating back at least 1 million years. Or sorry, 1 billion years.
Okay,
I may have botched that. Point being,
here's a question.
That we have that evidence in the ground. Like we pull it up, we can see it, we can study it, we can measure it. It's there, and we can put it on a line with all of the other fossils that we found and create a comprehensive tree of life that shows the small gradual changes over geologic time as they're passed down through populations. That makes sense to you, right? Like the idea that we can put fossils together.
I have a question.
Okay, shoot.
Would you agree? Yeah, of course. I have a question. So,
sure.
Would you say that the existence of something proves something was created?
No. The existence of a tree does not prove that the tree was created.
Okay, but the existence of my phone does.
Yeah, but your phone is a man-made object. Trees are not man-made objects. Animals are not man-made objects. There's a fundamental difference here.
Yeah, of course there is, but would that not need to be? Would that be extreme special pleading?
No, there's just a fundamental difference here.
Yeah, but why does biological life need no creation? But
because we don't observe it requiring a creator.
Because so we don't reserve it, that means it's not created. I didn't observe my cell phone being created.
I mean, you can go to a factory in China and watch many multitudes of your kind of phone get created.
So because
you can pull the serial number off of your phone, right, and compare it to batch numbers from that factory.
So you're saying because we didn't see God created that he doesn't exist?
No, it's not that we don't see that God created it, right? It's that we have no reason to think that God would have created it.
Why? Why would you say that?
Because nothing that we have discovered currently about the fossil record, about the geologic record, would suggest that a God created it. Like, what is the necessity of different strata of rock for a created world? Why put million-year-old fossils in the ground? If the world is only 6,000 years old, that doesn't make any sense. Why do we find incomplete? Why do we find actively decaying radioactive material? That doesn't make any sense, right?
I'd agree.
Yeah, like it just doesn't make it. It creates more questions than it answers, right? Why, for instance, I'm going to tip my hand again. Hold on. Why do some species of actually, better question. You think that humans are not animals, right?
Right.
So you would put us in a separate kind, right? A separate baramin than apes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about house cats and tigers? Would you put them in the same kind?
Are
they of the cat kind?
They're still cat kind, yes.
Yeah. Lions as well?
Yeah, still cat kind.
Okay. So you would agree that humans and chimpanzees, for instance, are of different kinds, right?
For sure they are.
Okay, so let's imagine that we pull a strand of human DNA and a strand of chimpanzee DNA, right? And we compare it to see how similar one is to each other. How many base pairs do they share, right? 99.7% of all coding base pairs between humans and chimpanzees are exactly the same. That 0.3% of difference in the DNA structure is what separates us from them, right? They are our last common ancestor, chimpanzees.
They're
Or sorry,
not our common ancestor.
Sorry, they are our closest. They're our closest relative. Excuse me. We share a common ancestor between that is closer. Fuck, I'm missing the technical language here. They are our closest relatives biologically, right? Like genomically, we can compare our genome, and it is 99.7% similar. Our closest living relative, right? Of all of the animals in the animal kingdom that currently exist, we are most closely related to them, right? Imagine a family tree. You have your siblings, you have first cousins, second cousins, third cousins, right? Imagine that us and chimpanzees are like second cousins, while everything else in the animal kingdom is at least like fifth or sixth cousins. They're the closest related currently living animal on Earth to us, right? But you put them in separate kinds, which is weird because house cats, tigers, and lions share 95%, only 95% of coding base pairs. So you're taking two animals that are less related to each other than we are to chimpanzees in the same group, but chimpanzees are in a different group than us, which is really weird. Evolution looks at that, right? Natural selection looks at that and says, well, it makes sense. We are more closely related to chimpanzees than house cats are to tigers, right? That evolutionary line split much earlier than ours did with chimpanzees. And so you track up you trace these four species up the family tree, and wouldn't you know it, the split between chimpanzees happened sooner than the split between tigers, lions, and house cats. And so that's the predictive power of the model, is that we can work backwards and predict things, predict these links, right? It takes a very long time, but we can do it. And you just sort of accommodate for what we find. So I'll ask you that question. Why would you put lions and tigers in the same group, which only share 95% of their coding base pairs, but you put chimpanzees and humans in different groups despite sharing 99.7% of coding base pairs? Rob?
Sorry, I had my mic off.
Oh, no, you're good.
Yeah, it's on now. So I would say fundamentally, it's obvious that 0.3% makes a vast difference in, like, we have courts of law, we punish people, we have jobs, we have families that we connect with in language, and we have philosophy and debates, and we're so different than chimpanzees in so many demonstrable ways. Probably more so than the two examples you gave of lions and tigers.
Lions and tigers are way different. Humans and chimpanzees are different. I mean, they have social structures, right? I mean, they are social animals. They're different. They live in different environments, right? But lions and tigers are way more different. Like biologically, physiologically, they're way more different than we are to chimpanzees.
Yeah, but listen, let's just listen when I talk. Sure. Like I listened to you when you were talking. So again, we have courts of law, we have justice systems. Like, I don't see any chimps that are firemen, police officers, security officers, construction workers, engineers, hydro guys or gals, IT, library technicians, and so on and so forth. I don't see this. I've never seen a chimpanzee make a pizza, hamburger, even something as simple as an egg or a French toast or even grilled cheese. Humans can do all of these things and more. And and the other thing is we're just we just fundamentally operate and think and act and speak differently than a chimpanzee. Like, we're demonstrably different than a chimpanzee. Like, there's leaps and bounds.
Oh, sure. I don't dispute that. We're very different from chimpanzees. That's because we have different stats, I guess. Like, the stuff that evolution selected for with humans is the brain. We just have bigger brains than them.
On the face of it, I reject the premise that we have a common ancestor. We have a common designer. It's again, this is a circular reason that.
Well, wait a minute. We're talking about a common ancestor. We're not talking. You don't have to be anything like your second cousin to share a grandparent.
Yeah, but right? I don't share. I reject the premise that I'm related to a chimpanzee.
Well, then why is your DNA so similar?
Because
why are our skeletons so similar? Why can we trace both chimpanzees and humans up the fossil record to the same species?
Because God didn't see fit to reinvent the wheel for every time he made a species.
Right. Okay. But oh boy. So you agree then that if you trace humans up the fossil record and you trace chimpanzees up at the fossil record, we're eventually going to land at one species, right?
No, we're not.
Because God didn't reinvent the wheel.
But we're not the same species.
I didn't say we're the same species. I didn't say we're going to become the same species. That's not what evolution says. Okay, humans don't turn into chimps. Chimps don't turn into humans. That's not what this means.
Hey, Kim, what are you trying to say? Just answer the question plainly.
That's all. If we trace human skeletons up the fossil record, right, and we trace chimpanzees up the fossil record over millions of years, eventually we're going to land at the last common ancestor, right? You trace you up your family tree and your second cousin up the family tree, and you end up at your grandparent, right? The grandparent that you share. Mm-hmm. So that's all we're saying about chimps and humans at this point in time, right? Is that we share a common ancestor. At some point, let's call. Sorry.
Are you saying that one will die off?
No. So imagine some time ago, right? That last common ancestor. At some point, the population of species of this common ancestor got separated from itself. It split into two groups, right? Maybe because of a change in environment, or maybe because of selection pressure, or maybe because of genomic isolation or a lack of gene flow, whatever. They become separated, and they end up in different environments. So that new group that has split off from the main group in a new environment now has to adapt to that new environment. And not all of these members of this group are going to adapt. Only some of them who, by chance, had the right adaptations for this new environment are going to survive, right? Survival of the fittest. They are more likely to carry on those genes because they're more likely to reproduce. To repeat this process over millions of years, right? The concept of deep time that maybe you've heard somebody talk about. I prefer the term geologic time. So we're talking about millions of years, right? I know it's a big number to wrap your head around, but that's sort of what we have to go off of. If you trace those down after that separation happens, you're going to end up with two very different species that are hyper adapted to that one environment. And sometimes these splits happen multiple times. Environments may change multiple times throughout the course of a particular species' lifetime here on Earth. And some of them die out because they can't adapt, and some of them go on because they can adapt. That's all that natural selection is. Groups, populations, adapting to environmental changes that cause selection pressures, right? And so eventually you trace those up and you can find a common ancestor. I'm not saying that you came from a chimp. I'm saying that you and that chimp share a great grandparent. That's it. Geologic time millions of years ago. What makes you not believe it? What about my explanation is confusing to you?
It doesn't confuse me. That's a fundamental misunderstanding of my understanding of the facts. Because Because my ancestor, my grandparents and the chimps are not the same. That's just
I'm using analogies, man. Like I'm talking millions of years ago. Like not
even then
these are not people you would like recognize. We're talking past Homo neanderthalis. Like this is
true. You're just shooting in the dark.
What do you mean? We have the fossils. We can trace this fossil record up, and we can place them in a line and show how they change gradually over time until you end up at a human.
Okay.
Not because it was caused or directed, but just because that is what the selection process required.
Chem, stop for a second. Chem, stop.
Yeah.
We're at 2 hours now. I need to wrap this stream up, brother. We're gonna continue this tomorrow.
I could probably do this tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. I mean, probably later, or maybe around this. Yeah, maybe a bit later, because a friend of mine is taking me to a movie tomorrow night to celebrate my birthday.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you have a happy birthday, Rob.
Thank you, brother.
I hope you have a terrific time.
I appreciate it.
We will continue this conversation tomorrow.
We will. Take care.
Take care, dude.
Yeah, bye.